Today is the first time the Panthers can be together in the same room, in the same deal, in an official capacity since the new coach and GM took over. Their offseason beginning today. 4 teams today, after a couple last week, kick off their offseason programs. The first 2-week phase, which is the beginning, is limited to conditioning work and meetings, but that's more than they've had. It's the Dave Canales, Dan Morgan era. The D&D duo, Dungeons and Dragons, really kicks off today.
The alignment.
Oh,
the alignment. Yes, the alignment.
It seems like forever ago that the Panthers kind of pulled the trigger on changing everything, but it's been on hold until today, right? You know what? Every single time a Panther had a friend that they hadn't seen in a while go like, hey, how's the new coach? Do you know what they had to say? I talked to him a few times. Seems like a nice guy. I don't know. Everybody's seen, I've talked to somebody from Tampa. They seem to like him. I don't know. Starting today, they get a real answer to that question. How is he? Oh, well, in meetings, he's fill in the blank. Super upbeat. He's kind of mean. He holds us accountable. He doesn't hold us accountable. He's a player's coach. He's in over his head. Whatever the answer is, they actually have one now. How does Dave Canales run a meeting as the head coach, which is different than the coordinator? It's different than being any assistant coach. I learned this one from my dad. I grew up playing every sport, right? My dad was the assistant coach for darn near every sport. You know what's nice about being the assistant coach? Somebody's got a hard question. Someone's got a complaint. Someone's got a question you don't want to ask. Yeah, I don't know. You got to ask him. I'm just the assistant coach. Right? As a coordinator, you could be running an offense-only meeting. Someone raises their hand, asks a question you don't want to answer. Yeah, I don't know. I'll check with coach on that and get back to you. And nobody looks at you like you're not a good decision maker. You're not decisive. Everyone goes, all right, he's going to check with coach. Hey, coach, we got a bye week coming up. Are we off till Wednesday? Yeah, I don't know. Let me check with coach. That's fair. That's fair to say. Once you're the head coach, it's, I haven't decided yet. Ooh, he hasn't decided yet. The little things. How about this? Have all the demons been exorcised from last year? When they walk in, does it feel like more of the same? Does it feel like we were the worst team in the league last year and it's still got that stench in there? Do you know what it was? This is funny about my college career. So I don't know what this says about my class, but a couple weeks after my senior season ended, our head coach got fired. Again, I don't take it personally. I don't think we had that much to do with it. But so he gets fired, and obviously, like the seniors, your spring semester, right? You play in the fall. You still have access to like the weight room or anything. You're still part of the program. I went in there a couple weeks after the head coach got fired. Pictures off the wall were down. Like the locker room was stripped bare. It was the positions where you sat was different. Like everything was different. The new guy had gone in there and tried to rid him everything of the culture that we built. Wanted to put it in his own culture. Now, I will, looking back, right, the culture we built had got us to the national championship game, won a bunch of games. That coach that replaced everything didn't last very long. But that is what's going on right now. This is the first time you can build team culture in the same building. You are in, like, Dennis and I were talking this morning about what we wanted to see. Like, what are they doing even, right? 2 weeks of conditioning and meetings. What can you get done? You aren't installing like your package of third down plays against man coverage, right? You're not doing that day one. What you are instilling is kind of how you're going to install those later on. What you're installing is the culture that will help you install those things into the future. This is the first time you can build a team culture. All the way down to, does the coach tell you where you're sitting in team meetings? Or does he let you pick your seats yourself? It sounds stupid, but it matters, right? Do the vets get to sit where they always sat, or is he going to shake things up? You see the report card that comes out. The NFLPA puts out the survey, and all the players get to anonymously rank everything, right? Facilities, food, training table, training staff, head coaches, coordinators. They get to rank everything, and then you get A+, C+, D-, B+. Do the Panthers try to change those things? If you go in there, do you have different meals? Like, all of it matters, and this is the first time you get to really see. And by the way, there's a lot of players that don't know anything other than the Panthers, right? They may have seen multiple different coaches, but it's all been under the Panthers.
Derek Brown.
Derek Brown, he's now way more rich, but he got $60 million guaranteed coming his way, but all he knows is Carolina. I actually think Derek Brown is a really interesting case for this. There are not many players that have the seal and stamp of approval of the new regime, right? There are some players that it's like, we're going to keep you because your contract says we can't move on from you. Or even somebody like Deontay Johnson. We traded for you because the price was right. Because we were able to trade a 6th, 7th round pick swap and a player we were going to cut anyway to get you into town. That's not a rousing, confirmation of our belief in you. Derek Brown is one of the few guys this team has said, meaning Dave Canales and Dan Morgan have said with their chest into the microphone, that's our guy. Does he take on a leadership role? What about Bryce? Does Bryce take on a leadership role, or is he still the young guy that everybody's going to be helping out? It's all about culture. The other thing, and this is a side note, Forbes put out their annual list of rich people. I don't know how else to say it. Forbes likes to look at people's pockets and count money. The second richest NFL owner on the list is David Tepper of the Panthers. He is the 94th richest person in the world, worth about 20 points. Yeah, worth about 20.6 billion with a B. You know those surveys?
What?
You know those surveys? There's no reason the Panthers shouldn't be straight A's. Oh, practice facility, weight room, what food you're feeding the players. If you're the second richest in the league, there's no reason you're not passing with flying colors. Because guess what? All of that is ways to help your team that's outside the salary cap. You can't go full Yankees, right? You can't even go like the NBA and just get into the luxury tax and keep paying because you have so much darn money. The salary cap is more of a hard cap in the NFL. You can't just outspend on the field. But you know what you can do? You can have the best coaches. Mm-hmm. You can have the best play callers. You can have the best training staff, the best strength staff, the best facilities, the best food, the best everything around it. So the players that you can only pay what the salary cap says you can pay can have the best support to play well. You're the second richest owner, behind only it's the Walton and family, the Penner and family, the Walmart people that own the Broncos.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're like $70 billion.
I'm really surprised it's not Jerry Jones.
Nope, Jerry Jones is most of his money from I think he's like $8-9 billion, and the Cowboys are like $6 billion of that.
Yeah, he does own a lot of Papa John's.
David Tepper owns a lot of money.
He owns a lot of that too.
He has a lot of investments and stocks and $20.6 billion worth.